Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Hedera and HBAR, so let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So, from Miotech here with, of course, Danny Ide, breaking down this entire view on a glimpse into the phygital future around the fashion industry. The reason why I'm bringing this up again, because we've talked about Miotech in the past, is because I don't know if you guys remember, but I just broke down a World Economic Forum PDF from 2015, all the way back to 2015, where they were talking about the future of clothing, the future of society around like digitization. And when we looked at Miotech, right, they are disrupting the fashion industry by not only allowing for individuals to take a step into the metaverse through NFTs, completely designed into their clothing. For example, it's on the label to integrate with logistics management systems, so that the management is stored, and omni-channel sales processes up to the NFT collateralization. This is going to be something pretty interesting. But the funny thing is that the World Economic Forum has already talked about this. Like, we do see a few things here. They're talking about like wearable internet, 10% of people wearing clothes connected to the internet. Technology is becoming increasingly personal. Computers were first located in large rooms, then on desks, and following that on people's laps. While technology can now be found in people's mobile phones, in their pockets, it will soon be integrated directly into clothing and accessories. And we are actually seeing this happen through Hedera. This is something interesting. Now, they already did talk about this. This is going back to 2015, by the way, and this is in regards to like a full-on tipping point. This is a major shift within the system. We do see, tipping points expected to occur by 2025. 91.2%, 10% of people wearing clothing that is connected to the internet. We do see like the full-on breakdown of this. And I thought that this was interesting because we are seeing Hedera being at the forefront of this. We have been talking about this for a while. And I do think that Miotech is a company that everybody should be watching for. I don't even know why I don't follow them. That's kind of weird, but hey, it is what it is. But we've talked about them for a while now on this channel. I think that what they are doing is interesting, and I do think that it is going to disrupt an entire industry, aka the fashion industry. And I think that this is going to be something to continue to watch for, especially unfold on something like Hedera, because again, like Hedera is the one that's making this fully sustainable. We do see, going back to August 3rd, I think that that's when I actually talked about this project as well. Miu uses Hedera certified, as the most sustainable technology on the market yet, that is able to ensure a long-term positive impact on the environment through its unique and efficient Hashgraph consensus algorithm. Like I said, I think that this is going to be a very, very special use case, and I think everybody should be watching Miotech continue to build out. Also, talking about a few things happening. So 2 days ago, we did see a major shift within this market. We've seen a lot more discussions around CBDCs. Again, going back all the way to that World Economic Forum discussion, they do talk about a few things happening around the financial sector as well, but they do also share Bitcoin and the blockchain 2027. If we actually go down to blockchain in general, sorry, let me go back to blockchain in general. Here we have a few quotes. So first off, let me go down here. So tax collected for the first time by government via a blockchain. This is a 73.1% chance. We do see 10% of global cross-domestic products stored on blockchain technology, 57.9% by 2025. This could be very interesting as well. If we actually really kind of look at the amount of money that is. It is quite a bit, and we actually do see down here like Bitcoin and digital currencies are based on the idea of distributed trust mechanism called blockchain, a way of keeping track of trusted transactions in a distributed fashion. Currently, the total worth of Bitcoin in the blockchain is around $20 billion, or about 0.025% of global GDP of around $80 trillion. Pretty substantial, but I think that as we do kind of move forward, we are going to see a major change here. And I do think that when we talk about things like Hedera as well, more so like, extremely sustainable and efficient DLT technology, that's going to be the major focus point. Now, why am I talking about CBDCs? Why are we talking about this? Well, first off, 2 days ago, Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe developed a roadmap for adoption of a CBDC, says governor. Now, we didn't see too much, information down here at all in regards to, like, for example, Hedera. A lot of the information is just kind of, thrown out there to give you guys a quick insight on like what they are trying to do. It's more so them actually building out a CBDC and them having plans to do so. We also did see the Reserve Bank of Australia starts pilot to explore CBDC use cases. Again, when we talk about Australia, Hedera is positioned perfectly within that area to fully disrupt the financial sector. We've talked about that with FPOS as well as a few other major players. They do talk about how this is a proof of concept, but things are moving pretty quickly within this area. I would say, give it like 3 to 5 years, and we will see a major shift within the financial sector, specifically around digital assets and crypto. But yeah, like I said, things are moving extremely quick. Things are moving, I would say in a streamlined process around the world, around like regulations as well. And this is something special to watch for, because when we talk about Hedera, I do believe that Hedera is perfectly positioned for this market as well. We do see here, stay informed with this insightful article on NASDAQ from Carmel Cadet of MTech Inc. on the potential CBDC's hold in creating a greater future. MTech recently and with great success showcased their HTS-based CBDC at the Embassy of Haiti. And in fact, going over here, this was from August 12th, about 5 days ago. CBDCs are a chance to build a greener future. And again, yes, this is from the CEO of MTech. We've talked about the major connections with MTech. I don't need to go over it. I'm sure that you guys are probably all aware of this. But we do see like mainstream banking must embrace this technology as part of the growing wave of technological innovations aiming to solve traditional challenges, including the current climate crisis. Yes, I do think that even with like the World Economic Forum as well, more so talking about CBDCs, we will see this happen no matter what. And I do think that a lot of this is going to play a pivotal role around DLT, specifically sustainable DLT. And we do see down here like a CBDC as a critical piece of societal infrastructure is a new concept, but for millions of unbanked people around the world, it can change lives. Additionally, the concept of a green CBDC is quickly becoming popular, and central banks, which will need to embrace future-proofing approaches, should consider the additional necessity of rebuilding their systems with sustainability in mind from the beginning. Leveraging a CBDC as low-energy digital cash infrastructure instead of printing paper cash is only one factor, in its potential for sustainability. Structuring green finance initiatives such as green bonds or tokenizing, natural resources can be accurately measured but not easily transported are both possible with CBDC trust mechanisms, allowing traditional enterprises a chance to be climate-friendly architects in banking. This is how big, when we talk about like Hedera, in regards to its consensus mechanism, this is how big of an impact it actually will have in regards to like the financial sector. They do talk about green bonds, and yes, we actually do see this over here. BIS launches a second green bond fund for central banks. This goes back to January of 2021, by the way. The euro-denominated open-ended green bond fund for central banks builds on the success of the first US dollar-denominated green bond fund. The two funds belong to the BIS's Green Bond Fund initiative and invest in high-quality bonds that comply with international green standards and finance and environmentally friendly projects. And the BIS is participating. Central banks are strongly committed to supporting environmentally responsible investment practices. Again, when we talk about sustainability, this is why I say it is a big area to continue to watch for. Again, I share with you guys this because, Hedera is one of the major leaders around this. I do think that they will be a major player going forward as well. And they do talk a lot more about a few things within this. They even talk about like this major report on CBDCs from the International Monetary Fund. Yes, we do have that open over here. This is from June 7th, 2022, just recently. Whether in crypto assets or in CBDCs, design choices can make an important difference to the energy consumption of digital currencies. This paper establishes the main components and technological options that determine the energy profile of digital currencies. It draws on academic and industry estimates to compare digital currencies to each other and to existing payment systems, and derives implications for the design of environmentally friendly CBDCs for DLTs. The key factors affecting energy consumption are the ability to control participation and the consensus algorithm. While crypto assets like Bitcoin are wasteful in terms of resources, other designs could be more energy efficient than existing payment systems. Hence why we talk about a lot of sustainable projects on this channel. I'm telling you guys, listen, a lot of people say like, they always bring up the funny things, right? Like, hey, HBAR is still at, fractions of a cent. This thing is garbage, blah, 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 whatever. Listen, if you guys want to be blinded by current price action, if you guys want to be blinded by price action in a bear market, please go ahead. If you want to have that dictate, what you are, investing in, you guys have that freedom. You don't need to even touch any of the assets I talk about on this channel. In fact, I actually would argue the fact that you guys shouldn't be touching any, asset that I talk about without doing your own research, without understanding the technology, because I'm not here to tell you guys what to put your money into. I'm not here to, have, projects pay me thousands of dollars to, talk about them on this channel and say, hey, you guys should jump in right now because this is going to make you rich. No, That is not my job. In fact, my job on here is to give you guys insights on what is happening behind the scenes with a lot of these major, opportunities within this market, specifically the revolution of the financial sector. And it is going to be around DLT players like Hedera. Hedera is going to be a big player here because they are already working up to that aspect of not only being carbon negative, but being extremely secure. Security is a big thing as well. And we actually do see even privacy being mentioned here as well. Again, it's a major opportunity for this space. And again, like for anybody who thinks that Bitcoin's going to be the player, or, for an example, Ethereum, like everybody loves Ethereum. Ethereum's this, Ethereum's that. Listen, it's a joke. These major consensus algorithms are a joke. They're old age technology. They did pave the way. I will give you that. I support all cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to sit here and talk down on Ethereum or Bitcoin simply because of how inefficient they are. Listen, technology gets outdated. Go buy a computer. In 5 years, you'll most likely have to upgrade it or replace it. That's how simple technology is. Ethereum, 7 years old. It has done its job. And it still continues to be touted as one of the most utilized networks within crypto for mass adoption. And it definitely has been, proving that base point, but a new king will rise. I'm telling you guys that right now. And we do see, they do talk about like even proof of stake models are guilty of gas usage and fluctuating gas fees. But the funny thing is that Hedera is not. We actually do have a full-on DLT report open in a tab that we're going to be talking about. But we do see DLT is rapidly evolving beyond the blockchain-based protocols like Bitcoin and Ethereum, which were pioneers in the space, and I do completely agree. Next generation DLT shows that there are options beyond proof of work and proof of stake for building a high-performance, energy-efficient CBDC infrastructure. Climate-friendly technology infrastructures can be a powerful tool for an economic development, financial inclusion, and sustainability. Banks must adopt operational solutions to innovation that put modern central banking on the path to a low-carbon future as the world goes digital. And yes, I completely agree. Perfect breakdown from MTech themselves, from Carmel Cadet, an absolute leader in the space behind CBDCs and even behind Hedera. The best part about it is she's talking about Hedera here. They have been working with Hedera for such a long time, like over a year now. We first talked about them back in May of 2021. We continue to talk about them today because they are going to be a leader. Now, talking more so about how sustainable Hedera actually is, I know that a lot of you already know this, but this is a report going back in time. This is where that graphic comes from, where you do see it all over like Twitter, where it's comparing like Hedera to all of these other major, other networks and assets and, things like that. When we look at this, right? So researchers in affiliation with UCL CBT released study on the environmental impact of POS DLTs. So again, you guys are very used to seeing like the front-facing graphic, which makes it very easy for anybody to actually read. But when you look at it, right, you can actually kind of see how large of an impact Hedera actually is making in regards to the sustainability aspect. You do see Visa all the way up here. You also do even see like Algorand, right, making a pretty big impact. But then you also do see Hedera. Hedera is so beyond, and by the way, they do even share this with like throughput transactions as well. Like they actually put it all into aspect. It is carbon negative at the forefront, and when we look at this, it's a very substantial change in regards to what we are used to seeing within this market. Remember, the entire crypto market has a bad name for being extremely inefficient in regards to like energy usage. When we look at like Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been always touted as a massive issue in regards to like energy consumption with mining, etc. It has put a bad taste in a lot of individuals' mouths around, crypto. But Hedera is ultimately changing that entire aspect. Hedera is completely diverse in its own way. And I will argue that when we look at where CBDCs are headed, they're not going to be, we're not going to see CBDCs issued on things like Bitcoin, like, Ethereum. We're just not. And, some could argue that Cardano is not also going to be a player here as well. They're not as energy efficient. You look at like Algorand. Algorand definitely does hold a spot. A few other assets do also as well. But we want things to be a lot more efficient compared to traditional mechanisms, like even Visa, for example. Hedera being carbon negative, being under the radar, below Visa, makes it the perfect asset to be utilized, or I shouldn't even say asset, DLT to be utilized for issuance of CBDCs, which is why we do see MTech touting it as a major player. I know that they're not mentioning it, in this article because again, they most likely have, NDAs and stuff like that. They're not going to go around and, shouting it. But if you go over to MTech's website, you could find Hedera all day long. You could find it in PDF files around the U.S. CBDC as well in regards to Project New Dawn. They are a major leader behind Hedera. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.